The proper UV curing lamp has 36 watts. The 36-watt lamp should have a timer, on-off switch, fuse, and 4 9-watt bulbs that should be checked and changed regularly. A UV lamp bulb loses its ability to cure efficiently over time.
My UV gel lamp is aimed away from my work area. The reason for this is once you're curing your client, you don't want to be curing your UV gels as well. You don't want the light shining on your brush. You don't want the light shining on your client's other body parts. You want the light shining away from your workstation toward your client, where it's easy enough for them to put their hands in there and be able to cure their hands without, baking everything on the table. The next thing you want is you want your UV gel brush. My UV gel brush, and this is the one I use most often, and it's kind of crappy right now, but it is a flat synthetic brush. It's the white bristle, square tip, flat brush. I prefer using this for UV gels. And the way that I'm going to clean my brush and prep it is you can use your brush cleaner for your UV gel kit, whichever one you have, or I spritz some alcohol. What I do is I take a paper towel and I place a paper towel in my workstation that is doubled over or tripled over or whatever, and I literally will open up my alcohol and I'll pour a little bit of a puddle of alcohol right there. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow me, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'm trying to stay in the frame, that will allow me to wipe my brush back and forth like this until it is clean and clear of all gel and color or whatever you've done with your brush. Okay? And I will keep re-wetting this space and use this space for cleaning my brush because you're going to want to do that between applications. Okay, so my brush is prepped, my client is prepped, and I'm ready for the first step. The first step is going to be the pre-nail prep. This is basically a dehydrator and a nail prep that gets the natural nail plate ready for an application of anything really, UV gels in this case. So I'm going to apply this to my client on every single finger, just as you would the dehydrator or any nail prep that you use ahead of any application, okay? So that's the first step. This does not get cured. Nail prep does not get cured in the lamp. The very next step is the IBD bonder. With UV gels, everything that you apply to the nail plate is going to be very, very thin. You don't want anything leaking into the sidewells of the nail, because that will cause lifting. So with my client here, I'm going to take my bonder, which is just a clear, very light liquid, and I am going to start a 1/16 of an inch away from the cuticle. You do not back up to the cuticle. You do not want to touch the client's skin with this. This does get cured in the UV lamp for 1 minute, so like with any UVs or any product, you do not want to touch the client's skin with it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and place your bonder on the nails that you're going to be curing. If you are using a form, which we are using a form today, I'm going to roll my form. I'm going to put my form very carefully onto my client, which I should have done earlier. Okay. I'm going to place my form onto my client, make sure that it's steady and okay and all that stuff. And I'm going to put the bonder over the natural nail plate after I already have the form on, because you don't want to try and put that form on after you have the sticky bonder on there. The bonder does not have an inhibition layer that gets cleaned off. The inhibition layer is the sticky layer after curing that is left behind. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to place it in my UV lamp for 1 minute. If your lamp does not have a timer on it, you will need to set a timer for 1 minute. Making sure that your client's skin is protected is just as important as making their nails beautiful, and making sure that they are healthy. You want to ask the client if they'd like to have some sunblock on their hands, because they can. The UV lamp does send off specific rays, and if overuse, you increase your chances of skin cancer and different things like that. I'm not saying that doing UV gel is going to cause skin cancer. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you want to give your client every healthy option that you can possibly give them. So I would typically ask my client if they wanted to use a little bit of sunblock on their hands, the tops of their hands or wherever, and then I would proceed with cleaning and prepping the natural nail plate. Usually you want to apply your sunblock about 30 minutes before before your application of gels and use of the UV lamp. So my client has been curing for 1 minute and her bonder is all set. You do not touch this nail. This nail is now ready for a UV application. I'm going to start with the white tip on the nail that has the form on it. This is what the gel looks like for the white builder. Okay, it's very creamy looking. It should peek up and pull apart like that. If your gel is too hard, you can set it actually near a warm lamp, and it will warm it enough to be pliable. You're going to take a fairly good size bead. This is the size bead I'm going to work with today. You want to roll your brush back and forth to make sure you have no strings hanging. You're going to take your client's finger, and this is difficult because my client is not real and I cannot separate her fingers very well. But you're going to take your client's finger and you're going to start right at the edge of the nail, and you're basically going to place that bead on there, okay? The beads are self-leveling to a degree, so you can basically manipulate it up and down and across and up and down and across until you have the desired shape, okay? Once you have the desired shape for this client's tip, you will cure it for 2 minutes. So I'm going to work on her tip right now. I'm going to clean my brush and clean up my edge here, okay? I'm doing kind of a, partial pointy tip. Hopefully I'm not out of screen and you guys can totally see me. Okay? So I'm going to add a little bit more white to the middle here because I don't like how thin it is. You want to make sure you have a thick enough tip. You don't want it to be 3 inches thick, but you definitely want it to be substantial. Okay? So once that is on there, you're going to kind of let it settle. And my gel is a little bit hard today, so sorry about this, guys. I normally don't do UV gel too often, so you don't have to rush like you do with acrylic. So you can basically take your time and be a perfectionist as long as you don't mind spending the time on your client. So I have that like that now, and what I'm going to do is, if I were doing this on the whole hand, I would do each one of them, but I'm not doing this on the whole hand. So I do want to close up my white, and I want to take out my clear, which is what I'm going to be using. Okay, guys, so now I have my clear, and I'm just going to dig into my clear, and I'm going to show you how to do a clear application. It's, again, you want to be more like a polish here. You're not building a tip, you're just putting an application. You want to start right about there on the nail, lift a couple times, and drag to the edge, okay? And what you can do is, after you place this on, you can actually just leave it and let it set and let it settle, and it will dry and, fall to the edges a little bit, and that will be good because you can clean it up right before it goes in a lamp. So those two nails are ready to go, and I am going to show you how to apply a glitter mix to them as well, because I have been asked to do that. And then for the pinky nail, I'm not even doing the thumb, I'm just going to do the pinky nail. I'm going to show you guys how I use this colored or already glittered gel. It looks like this, and I'm basically going to take a little bit on my brush here. It's not very thin, so you don't want to overdo, and I'm basically going to fade it up into the nail bed on this nail, and that's basically going to be the tip, sort of. Okay, I'm not adding links to these guys. I'm just basically showing you how I would do it if it were somebody who had some short nails or something. And you're going to try to not get glitter all over your client like I just did. So, yeah, okay. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to cure it for 2 minutes.
Please stay tuned for part 3 of this UV gel tutorial.